Charles Barkley on the WNBA and Caitlin Clark, quote, they couldn't have effed this thing up any worse. Chris Graham for Augusta Free Press here. Now, the WNBA rookie Caitlin Clark, you might have heard of her. Even if you're not a WNBA fan, I mean, if you're watching a sports video on YouTube, you're at least aware of who she is. And, the NCAA's all-time leading scorer, rookie now with the Indiana Fever. She's averaging 18.7 points and a league best 8.4 assists per game. And she's not only the leading candidate for Rookie of the Year this season, she's getting some talk about being in the MVP race because she has lifted her Indiana Fever team, which got her because, they got the first pick because they were the worst team in the NBA, WNBA last year, 13 and 27 record. They're 17 and 16 right now. They've won 8 of their last 10. They're making a push, let's just say. Some nice wins in that last stretch there, too. Now, Clark has found herself caught up in the culture wars because of comments from outspoken veteran players and former players who are obviously upset with the outsized attention being given to Clark, who is white in what is a roughly 75% black league. Now, Charles Barkley, the NBA Hall of Famer, who gets himself in trouble all the time for saying what he thinks, so that's grain of salt with this. He offered a strong take on the Clark story in a visit this week with the Bill Simmons podcast. His take, they cannot have effed this Caitlin Clark thing up any worse if they tried. Here's a full quote from Barkley. Quote, the number of eyeballs she's brought to the league and the pros, and for these women to have this petty jealousness, you're saying to yourself, damn, what is going on here? And the thing I love about her, she never says a word, but these ladies who I love and respect their game, they could not have effed this thing up any worse. There's been so much negativity, and a lot of it is petty jealousness, Barkley said. He's not wrong there. The WNBA has long been a subsidized league, the subsidy coming from the NBA, which has lost money for many years in the effort to keep the WNBA afloat. The attention being brought to the game by Clark and the league's other attention-getting rookie, Angel Reese, should be the WNBA's version of the Larry Bird Magic Johnson story. Now, you might not believe this now. I was just a little kid watching the NBA in the late 70s, early 80s. But before Bird and Johnson got to the NBA in 1979, the NBA finals were broadcast on tape delay after the late local news. That's how low things were with the NBA. Their broadcast wouldn't come on until after the late local news, 11:45-ish. I remember one of my Little League baseball games on a Saturday morning. I was half asleep because I'd stayed up till 2 in the morning watching the NBA Finals the night before. Uh, Now, the arrival of those two guys, among other things, reignited the great Boston Celtics LA Lakers rivalry from the 60s, early 70s. Breathe life into the NBA across the board. Now, the veterans and former NBA stars who have taken to the airwaves and the interwebs to bemoan the attention being given to Clark, oddly, Reese has been immune to the scorn. Figure why, are guilty of looking the gift horse in the mouth here. It shouldn't matter that WNBA players toiled for years to keep the league moving forward to get to this point, where an injection of fresh faces with personality and game is finally getting the women's game the attention it maybe deserved all along, probably deserved all along. How about just being happy that the new TV deal struck with Disney, NBC Universal, and Amazon is worth nearly 4 times the ongoing TV deal, with the new TV partner set to pay $2.2 billion over the next 11 years to broadcast WNBA games. So what if the white girl is getting a lot of the attention? It happens that she's good. In that 10-game stretch I mentioned where the Fever have really been playing good basketball, playing their way into the heart of the playoff race, they've gone 8-2 in that stretch, and their point guard has averaged 23.3 points and 10.1 assists per game in that stretch. She's playing MVP level basketball right now. It'd be different if she was stinking up the joint. She's not. TV ratings are up for her games. Ticket sales for the Fever at home and on the road are through the roof. The WNBA is making more money than it ever has, and still the negativity is there and it's not going away. It makes you wonder, and I'm going to agree with Barkley here, and I don't do that very often, but it makes you wonder if her peers want the WNBA to succeed, if success has to come with a white girl from Iowa getting people to want to be fans. For Augusta Free Press, I'm Chris Grant.